Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that can literally make or break your short-term rental business, your listing description. We're going to dive into how to write one that doesn't just describe your place, but actually connects with your ideal guest and gets your calendar booked solid.
So, you've done all the hard work, right? The photos are gorgeous, your pricing is on point, but you're still seeing those dreaded gaps in your calendar. It's so frustrating. Well, today, we're going to zero in on the one thing that might just be holding you back, the words you're using.
And boom, there it is. This is the single biggest mistake most hosts make, and it's a total game changer when you finally see it. We get so excited about our new coffee maker, or the thread count of our sheets, but our guests, they're not buying a coffee maker, they're buying an experience. The big aha moment is when you stop selling what you have and start describing what your guests are going to feel.
All right, here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to dig into the real problem with most listings. Then we'll get crystal clear on who your ideal guest is. After that, we'll get into the fun stuff, crafting a listing that's absolutely magnetic. We'll also cover the big mistakes that lose you bookings, and then we'll wrap it all up with a super simple action plan you can use today.
So what's the real issue here? Honestly, it's that most descriptions are just generic. They're boring. And a generic description connects with absolutely no one. Your property, even with amazing photos, just blends into this endless sea of other listings, and people scroll right on by.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Airbnb themselves have said it. Your description isn't just some filler text you rush through. It is your #1 sales tool. It sets the scene, it manages expectations, and it's what ultimately convinces someone that your place isn't just an option, it's the only option for their trip. Okay, this next part, this is probably the most important shift in thinking you can make as a host. You have to stop trying to appeal to everyone. It's impossible. Instead, I want you to pick one single person, your perfect ideal guest, and write every single word of your listing directly to them.
I mean, it really is the golden rule of marketing, and it's so simple it's easy to overlook. But when you know exactly who you're talking to, everything else just falls into place. The right words, the right tone, it all becomes so much easier. Now this is where it gets really fun. Let's break this down. Imagine you're a parent with 2 toddlers. What do you need to know? You're frantically scanning for words like fenced yard, high chair, blackout curtains. Now picture a couple on a romantic weekend. They could not care less about a high chair. They're looking for private hot tub, king-size bed, secluded. You see, different guests are looking for completely different things. Your job is to talk directly to the ones you want to attract. Okay, so now that you know who you're talking to, let's get into the how. Let's look at the actual tools and formulas you can use to write a description that literally stops people in their tracks while they're scrolling. Your headline is your first impression, and let's be honest, it's probably your only one. So please stop using words like nice or great. They're totally meaningless. Instead, use this simple formula. Start with a powerful, evocative adjective. Add your specific property type and finish with your absolute best feature or experience. It's a killer combo. And just look at the difference here. Nice apartment with great view. I mean, I'm already falling asleep. But stunning waterfront estate with pool and spa? Now that creates instant desire. It tells a story. It makes you want to click and see more. It's specific, it's aspirational, and it's way more compelling. This right here is where the real magic happens. You're not selling a mattress. You're selling a perfect, restful night's sleep. You're not selling a full kitchen. You're selling the memory of sipping coffee on the deck while watching the sunrise. You have to translate your features into the experience your guest is going to have. The best way to do this is to use sensory details. Pull them into the scene. What will they hear when they wake up? What will the coffee smell like? What does it feel like to slip into those cool, crisp sheets after a long day of exploring? Paint that picture, because that's what makes people connect emotionally and start to imagine themselves there. Now, while we're painting this amazing, beautiful picture, there's a huge catch. It has to be real, because nothing, and I mean nothing, destroys trust and gets you a bad review faster than a guest showing up and feeling like they were misled. And let's be crystal clear here. Beachfront does not mean you can see a sliver of the ocean if you stand on a chair and lean out the top window. Be upfront about the quirks. If you have steep ladder stairs to a loft, say it. It's not a negative, it's a filter. It helps you attract the right guest who thinks it's cool, and it weeds out the ones who would have been really disappointed. Okay, so you've done all this great work. You know your guest, you're telling a story. Now let's just make sure you're not accidentally sabotaging all of it with these super common booking-killing mistakes. You have to remember this.
Guests are scanners, not readers. If they click on your listing and see a giant wall of text, their eyes glaze over and they're gone. If they have to hunt for basic information like parking or Wi-Fi, they're not going to hunt for long. They'll just go book with someone else who made it easy for them.
All right, let's bring it all home and wrap this up into a simple, powerful action plan. Here are 5 things you can do the second this explainer is over to make your listing way more effective.
That's pretty much it. 1. Decide who you're talking to. 2. Nail the headline with our formula. 3. Sell the experience, not just the features. 4. Put all your best stuff right at the top where people will see it. And 5. Be specific, be honest, and make sure your words and your photos are telling the same story. That's your roadmap.
And if you need one last little push to see why every single word counts, get a load of this number. 18%. Research shows that's all of a description the average traveler reads. That's it. That's why making your text scannable and putting your best stuff first isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely essential.
This slide just sums it up perfectly. Think of it like this. Your photos are the evidence. They show what your property looks like. But your words tell people how staying there is going to feel. And when those two things work together in harmony, you create an irresistible desire to book.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to really chew on. If that perfect guest, the one you pictured in your mind, read your listing right now, what is the single most important feeling you'd want them to walk away with? Is it relaxation, excitement, peace? Define that feeling and then go back and make sure every word in your listing is working to create it. Thanks for tuning in.